Is 71,000 poised for the semifinals at 100 meters for the men. To the booth we go again. Don, Michael, and Steve. Don.
Thanks, Ron. There's a buzz of anticipation at the Stade de France as the 8 runners line up for semifinal 1 in the 100 meters. Canada represented by Nick Macrozonaris running in lane 1. The world record holder Tim Montgomery is in lane 4, and Kim Collins, the Commonwealth Games champion, runs in lane 3. Collins has looked very impressive as he has advanced to this semifinal stage. He has posted some good times. Nick Macrozonaris had to survive that long drawn-out episode, the disqualification of John Drummond, before finally qualifying for this semifinal run. Nick Macrozonaris, the 23-year-old from Laval, Quebec, the Canadian champion in lane 1. Eric Nkansah of Ghana is the runner in lane number 2. He has a personal best time of 10 seconds flat, which he ran in 1999. In lane 3 is Kim Collins of St. Kitts, the 2002 Commonwealth Games champion at 100 meters. And it was in 2000 in Sydney where he reached the final of the Sydney Olympic 100 meters. He was all smiles. I think he was just happy at that time to be in the presence of some of the world's fastest men. Now he would like to claim that title here in Paris. The world's fastest man is Tim Montgomery of the United States. And he claims that in training in Raleigh, North Carolina, prior to coming to Paris, he had a clocking of 9.95. He hasn't been as active this year as he has been in other years. His 9.78 clocking was set in Paris a year ago. He runs in lane 4. Uchenna Emedolu of Nigeria, the 2002 World Cup winner at 100 meters, is in lane 5. His PB is 10.06. In lane 6, Bernard Williams of the United States, the 1999 Pan American champion at 100 meters, the 2001 world bronze medalist at 100 meters, a PB of 9.94. In lane 7, representing Japan, Nobuharu Asahara. One time, he was also a long jumper, now concentrating on the sprints, a PB of 10.02. And 20-year-old Mark Lewis Francis runs in lane 8. He has a PB of 10.04. A former junior champion, twice winner of the European Cup 100 meter sprint. So that's the field. Macrozonaris, Nkansah, Collins, Montgomery, Emedolu, Williams, Asahara, and Lewis Francis. Donovan Bailey, the former Olympic champion, world record holder, and winner of this event in 1995 in Gothenburg, watching this semifinal unfold.
Well, Kim Collins just before the start here. I think you put a tick by Kim Collins' name and maybe Tim Montgomery. But the other two places, well, they're up for grabs. And let's hope that Macrozonaris can get on the inside there a good start, because that's all important.
And let's also hope that we don't have any problems at the start line, such as we experienced in the quarterfinals. Macrozonaris, Nkansah, Collins, Montgomery, Emedolu, Williams, Asahara, and Lewis Francis in lanes 1 through 8. Away cleanly the first time, and getting a very good start is Tim Montgomery. Bernard Williams is also running well. Collins is coming on. Macrozonaris trying to get up there. The first 4 move on. Macrozonaris will not advance, as it was Collins, Montgomery, Emedolu, and Williams who came through to move on. And Bernard Williams really came flying out of the blocks. The time, 10.11.
Uncharacteristically, Bernard Williams has a game face on. Usually he's quite jovial, joking with the rest of the athletes, but he looks so serious. He's really taking this sprinting seriously. He's a stand-up comedian. You can see Nick Macrozonaris probably stood up a little bit too early, didn't maintain his acceleration phase. And in this type of field, you cannot afford to do that. He comes through in 5th, but Bernard Williams, look how smooth he looked over the last 40 meters, not decelerating very much at all. Looked very comfortable coming across that line. but within 50 centimeters of one another, the top 4 placings. That's going to be a very, very tight final.
Yeah, that's right. I think the big factor in that race is how many people went across the line almost together. You can see here they got a good start. It's a fast start. The starter's not holding them very long in that set position anymore. I think they've been told to get them away quick. At this point, you can just see Bernard Williams going away slightly from the rest of them, just on his inside. Emedolu, Montgomery, and Collins running well. Nkansah suddenly pulled up with about 80-meter mark there. I don't know whether he's got an injury or whatever. He was straight out of the picture. And it's a shame that Macrozonaris just didn't get through in 5th place there, which is disappointing, but I think that's about as good as he was worth in that particular race.
Bernard Williams 10:11, Tim Montgomery 10:14, Emedolu of Nigeria 10:15, and the 4th qualifier Kim Collins in 10:16. Macrozonaris was timed in 10:27, and he finished in 5th place and will not qualify for the final, obviously. The defending champion, Maurice Greene, is up next in semi-final 2.
The start was good. I knew that if I get off the blocks good and do what I did in practice, is keep my nice long strides and stay relaxed with my coach. That's what he taught me, and I thought I would be able to go there, have the first 60 meters, and then the rest just try to be easy, but I guess the fatigue got into me. So
Michael thought you might have, I mean, I can't help but think you knew you were 5 abreast. You had a very good opportunity. There you go. You can just, that's just a solo shot, but see whether you think maybe you stood up early. I don't know.
actually, you could see me a little bit tight, you know? And look at me, look at that. I'm about to die, but it's all good. A bit tight, good start. But you learn as you go, and I'll keep this energy for next year for the Olympics.
Do you have any sense of who you think is going to win this? Bernard Williams had a great first heat. Greene seems to be sore, and this kid Darrel Brown looks very impressive.
I would like to go with Dwain Chambers.
Good. Excellent run. Congratulations, excellent meet. And let's send it right back up to you, Don.
Semi-final number 2 on the track. The defending champion, Maurice Greene, running in lane 7. The sensation of this meeting in lane 5, the 18-year-old from Trinidad, Darrel Brown, with a 10.01 clocking in the quarterfinal. This is a tough semi-final, and trying to pick 4 to advance, I would suggest, is quite an assignment, because Dwight Thomas runs in lane 1. He has a PB of 10:12. He was 4th in the 2002 Commonwealth Games. He's from Jamaica. He's a 22-year-old. The French favorite is Ronald Pognon. 10:13, the time he ran in the preliminary rounds here at the Stade de France. In lane 3 is Ato Boldon of Trinidad, winner of 4 individual Olympic sprint medals, but no golds. A former world champion at 200 meters. He has run 9.86 on 2 occasions. The man some people were picking to win gold, Dwain Chambers of Great Britain, a PB of 9.87, the time he posted a year ago. His seasonal best time is a clocking of 10.03. In lane 5 is 18-year-old Darrel Brown from Trinidad, the 2002 World Junior Champion, 10.01, his time in the quarterfinal round. And you have to wonder if nerves are having any impact on this young man as he gets set to face some of the world's best in this semi-final. Darren Campbell of Great Britain, a Sydney Olympic silver medalist at 200 meters, is in lane 6. His best time for the 100 is 10.04. That was a time he ran in 1998. And in lane 7, hoping to make it 4 world championships in a row, Maurice Greene of the United States. He took over at the World Championship level from Canada's Donovan Bailey, winning in 97, 99, and 2001. He held the world record of 9.79 until Tim Montgomery lowered it to 9.78 a year ago in Paris. Maurice Greene, the defending champion, in lane 7. Deji Aliu of Nigeria, a former world junior champion at 100 meters. A PB of 9.98, which he posted this year, runs in lane 8. And running in lane 9, and this is unusual to have 9 runners, is Sherwin Vries of South Africa. And the reason they have this 9th lane open is because of the tie in time in the quarterfinal round.
Well, I know it's an obvious thing to say about the 100 meters, but I think the start is going to be crucial in this race. You've got some slow starters, Dwight Thomas of Jamaica in lane 1, and the young Darrel Brown, as you mentioned, maybe a little bit nervous. He doesn't start very well, but he comes through fast towards the end of the race. If the others can get a better start, they might knock these two out. If they get a good start, then it could be an interesting semi-final.
So it's Thomas, Pognon, Bolden, Chambers, Brown, Campbell, Greene, Aliu, and Vries in lanes 1 through 9.
And Darrell Brown really has the lane of choice for sure, being right in the center of this unusual 9-man semifinal. It's unusual territory for Maurice Greene to be somewhat close to the outside in lane 7. He's usually the man to look for in those middle lanes.
And Maurice Greene raises his hand, and they move out of the blocks. Is that an indication maybe that things might not just be right with Maurice?
Well, he's nervous, isn't he? Usually when you're dominating, you can sort of get away with the bravado and the noise and everything that goes on around you. But when you're nervous, yeah, I think the hand would go up.
I mentioned that Donovan Bailey was the dominant sprinter in 95 and 96 with his world championship in Gothenburg, and in 96 his Olympic title and world record in Atlanta. And then Maurice Greene succeeded him at the Worlds in 97 and went on to Olympic fame as well in Sydney. Maurice Greene under the gun. They reposition Thomas, Pognon, Bolden, Chambers, Brown, Campbell, Greene, Aliu, and Vries. And a hush falls over the stadium as they again settle into the blocks. They're away cleanly out of the blocks very quickly. Is Aliu on the outside? Now on the inside, here comes Chambers. As they race up to the finish line, it's Chambers leading the way in second place, dipping in. It may have been Brown for second. 10:06 the time. And Chambers, who has been touted by many to win this event, leads the way to the finish line. But Brown made up some ground over the final few meters to finish second.
Well, there's Maurice. I'm sad to say I think I was right in that. And it had all the hallmarks, I suppose, of this happening. And that's a sad end, maybe, of this man's career at these sort of championships. Getting an isolated camera on him here. He's struggling all the way. I think he was actually struggling in the quarterfinals, Don.
The surprise is that Vries of South Africa is the 4th qualifier. Chambers, Brown, Campbell, and Vries. Chambers in 10:06. Darrel Brown in 10:11. We still don't have a time for the defending champion. Darren Campbell in 10:12. Vries in 10:14.
Let's just watch this again. Darrell, let's just concentrate on who actually won the race and rather than, you know, who didn't make the race. Great run, really, from Dwain Chambers in the middle of the field. He dominated that race. Again, the youngster come through, Darrel Brown, towards the end.
They've got Vries in 4th spot. I think it's Aliu. I think they've made a mistake on the official posting here because it looked as though it was lane 8 rather than lane 9.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. You can see here that Aliu, that's the reaction time.
They don't have one for lane 9.
Believe it or not, Maurice Greene, who in the end pulled up. So he got a good start, so there's no excuses there. But I think the injury or whatever it was held him back over the latter part of the race. There's a close-up now of the eventual winner. I mean, Dwayne's been training hard all year for this. He's kept himself very confined to some of the domestic meets back in the UK, venturing out very infrequently. He's been training hard. He's been concentrating on this event solely throughout the whole of the year. So I would have expected him to come here today and dominate the semi-finals. This is what he would have wanted. This is what he would have set the target for during the rest of the year, to impose himself at this stage of the race. And I think the semi-finals was a key. Look at him there. He's so relaxed going through. It's a key race for him to look across at the rest of the athletes just like that and say, I'm here, I mean business.
Well, it's Dwain Chambers, Darrel Brown, Darren Campbell, and Deji Aliu qualifying for the final. The 8 lining up for the starting gun in the 100-meter final. Ron, back to you.
Maurice, thanks very much. We all could see that you obviously weren't on form or well. I guess the more important question is, you know the psychological game. Can you get it back for Athens?
Oh, of course. You know, that's nothing. It's just, you know, we train very hard to come out here and to compete. And these championships, you put your body through things that there is sometimes is not ready for. But, you know, you can always overcome an injury as long as you take your time with it and treat it well.
You kind of snapped at everybody when they said you've achieved so much in your life already. I guess there's 4 world championships, and you even gave the crowd a little signal last night that in your heart and head you wanted it back.
Of course I did. You know, I hate to just give it up to him like this. I would rather lose it in the final than just give it up to him like this. But, you know, it's going to be any man's race. It's going to be a great final.
You have a pick?
I'm kind of biased. I hope the U.S. takes 1 and 2.
All right. Thanks a lot to Maurice Greene, 3-time world champion.